We'll start. And good evening, all. And I would like to welcome all the veterinarians. Especially today, we plan to have a special session for only for the veterinarians. Here, all are veterinarians other than our sales guys. And I would like to welcome all the veterinarians to the webinar on a timely needed topic to Sri Lankan poultry industry on liver health tools to manage IBH challenge, organized by the Beskia Pharmaceuticals together with Gusol, Spain. While welcoming you all to the webinar, let me brief on Beskia Pharmaceuticals and to introduce the moderator of the webinar. As you all know, Beskia Pharmaceuticals Private Limited started with the intention of providing preventive solutions to the farm animal and food industry. Almost all the products of our company focused on improving the productivity of our farmers by strengthening the disease preventive management strategies. And again, kindly let me call upon to Dr. Nacho Josa, the International Sales Manager to the Igusol Advance, having a vast experience in animal nutrition sector, working with more than 15 countries, to introduce the Igusol company and the speakers of the webinar. Over to you, Dr. Nacho.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Aranda. First of all, also I want to thank all the viewers, all the veterinarians that are joining today's webinar, which it's a very interesting webinar with the topic of the IBH challenge and which are the tools that we can use to try to control it. I will be very short with my introduction. I will add a video so you can know something more about Igusol, and then I will introduce the speakers for this session. Again, I want to thank also Besker Pharmaceuticals for the organization of this webinar and for giving us the opportunity of sharing our knowledge and our ideas with you. Okay, so now I'm gonna share the screen and you will see a really short video, 1 minute, of Igusol.
More than 27 years ago, we created a group of companies dedicated to animal nutrition. Analyzing the trends and challenges, we understood that the natural solutions focused on phytobiotics were the future. Igusol was born from that idea. Research and technological development were the foundations to create new models that improve the productive parameters. We provide specific solutions for each species stage through natural ways of high quality and technology which generate great benefits for our customers and increase food safety and animal health. Each project is born from rigorous analysis of the challenges our clients face. Once the needs are detected, our R&D team focuses on finding the most effective natural solutions based on phytobiotics. We make different prototypes and solutions through a careful selection according to properties, synergies, and how they work in different species, testing the results with universities and international research centers. After developing the prototype, we design the best technology to produce it, optimizing in each particle of the final product the active ingredients and the required level of homogeneity. Our continuous investment in production systems adapted to the highest European standards allows us to guarantee, through exhaustive quality processes, the best characteristics for the final product. Igusol offers solutions of guarantee effectiveness. All our products are tested in vivo before being launched to the market to confirm the laboratory results. First, in our experimental farms, we use a methodology that allows us to determine the results in different productive conditions. Afterwards, we carry out field tests in target markets, so we guarantee a successful solution to every specific challenge. Aware of the continuous development of the market, being close to our clients is the only way to understand the challenges they face. In addition to different commercial structures, we have a technical network supported by our own local teams that allow us to be present in the main growing markets. Our teams are always sharing information about the issues of each area, giving us the opportunity to contribute with solutions based on experience in different countries. This model has placed Igusol among the top players of the sector in a record time, and we keep growing.
Igusol, naturally by your side.
Okay, so that was the short video about the company. Now I'm going to introduce the two speakers of this session. And before that, I want you to know that you can add all the questions regarding the webinar or the presentations in the chat. You have the chat there where you can write the questions. And after both speeches, we will go through the questions and we will answer, if possible, all the doubts that you can have. So first of all, I want to introduce my very good friend, Dr. Deepak. He is a consultant specialized in liver health and IBH. He's a veterinarian and he has been working in Wenkis, India, and also he has been working for international companies like Elanco and Novus. And nowadays he's working as an independent consultant in South Central Asia with many renowned feed mills and integrator companies. So first of all, welcome, Dr. Deepak.
Thank you.
And then as a second speaker, we will have Juan Miguel Ruiz. He is an agricultural engineer. He is the technical manager of Igusol. He is a specialist in nutritional additives in animal feed and responsible, of course, of the technical department of our company. He will be introducing the tools to manage IBH challenge, the tools that we have in Igusol. And of course, again, you can use the chat to add your questions whenever you desire. Okay, so go ahead, Dr. Deepak, all yours.
Hi, Nacho, can you see it?
Yeah, perfectly. We see your screen.
Okay. Yeah, good evening. Myself, Dr. Deepak Singh, and right now I am working as an independent consultant. Today, I will cover only the practical aspect of IBH, and I would not cover so much theoretical part. So, like this is the one characteristic lesion of IBH we get in the field condition where we are getting accumulation of straw color fluid in the pericardial sac and hemorrhages on liver, discolored liver, and as well as the enlarged kidney. So this is the one characteristic lesions for the IBH. But in field condition, we are getting different kind of lesion. I'll show you later. So basically, this adenovirus is the main cause for the IBH. So this virus is double-stranded virus, has the double-stranded DNA. It has a non-enveloped virus. Its family is Adenoviridae, and there are 5 species and 13 serotype. If we classify adenovirus, so I already mentioned this 5 species: A, B, C, D, and E. But these and 13 serotype. In South Central Asia, mainly there are only 2 serotypes which cause the disease. One is major serotype 4 and another one is the serotype 11. So I have seen in field conditions, serotype 11 is right now the majorly we are facing challenge in IBH, not in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka also. So serotype 11, it is the more pathetic or more virulent as compared to the serotype 4. So the outbreak are occurring in field condition generally because of the serotype 11. So here in India, there are the primarily 2 vaccine companies. One is called Globion and another is called Wenkis India Private Limited. So both the companies has inoculated. Now they have added this serotype 11 in their vaccine, because we are facing this challenge very frequently by the serotype 11. So these are the 2 diseases which is caused by the adenovirus, mainly is hepatitis, hydropericardium syndrome, and another one is the IBH. I personally have faced this IBH since last 2 years, and still we are facing, because what happened since last 1 year, we are facing huge challenges of raw material shortage. In Sri Lanka also, we are facing the challenging raw material shortage, like the maize, and earlier we were using wheat. Now we have shifted into the maize. Since last 10 days, we are facing the challenge of DCP. The DCP prices has gone up to 60 rupees INR in India, which was earlier, in 10 days before, it was around 30, 34, 35 rupees. Now it gone up to the 60 rupees. So we have to change, we have to, make the one alternate of DCP. So we are now adding more MBM to make the feed formulations. So this is the challenge right now we are facing here in not only in India, but entire South Central Asia, of this raw material shortage. So IBH is the main issue we are getting in the broiler, and due to the shortage of soya, we have been using different type of raw material. I'll show you the formulation also, what are the raw material we have used, and how we are suffering from this IBH issue. So earlier, this IBH was mainly we seen from the second week and the third week, but I personally have seen IBH lesion or IBH symptom in the broiler, commercial broiler, at the age of 5 day or 6 day also. And we are frequently seeing gizzard erosion in the field conditions. So what we have done, we have sent these samples to the laboratory part, where they have confirmed that this outbreak is coming from the serotype 11, which is primarily responsible for the field outbreak. So what are the mode of transmission is majorly transovarian. It's at a vertical transmission, and from breeder to it is transferring to the commercial chicks. The other route is horizontal, where man and material movements, due to man and material movement, this virus is transferring. Oral route, there are very less chances of air transmission, and the flock is infected with IBD and CAV, and those chicks are more susceptible for the IBH. So this is my personal experience, and I am taking care of, if you can see this breeding farm. So I am taking care of this breeding farm, and what happened last 6 months, almost 6 months before, this particular flock was infected with the H9N2, especially the bird flu strain. And after at the age of 40 weeks, approximately 40 weeks, this particular flock got infected. So what happened after 1 month, when we received the commercial chicks from this particular flock, we have got huge mortality in the initial phase, especially at the age of 12 days, 13 days, and 14 days. What we have got primarily there is first symptom was start with the GD. Later on, in some area we have got outbreak of IBD and IBH also. So what we have done, we have removed the rice polish from this particular flock in their feed formulation, and we have focused more on the immunity part of the breeder flock. Right now this flock is now completely healthy, and whatever the alternate we have available in the market to improve the immunity, so that those things we have applied with the customers. I was we were together with the customers. We have gone through how to improve this immunity. So we have mainly focused on the immunity, and later on now this flock is completely we are what the chicks we are receiving, we are completely, it's safe from we are not getting this IBH or GD issues from this commercial flock. So if the parent flock, especially in the breeder part, after 40 weeks, if particularly after 40 weeks or 45 weeks, if it has got infected with like late MD or CAV and IBD or even leukosis virus or reoviruses. These all are the immunosuppressive diseases. And what happened if the immunosuppressions happen in the at the level of breeder? So it will definitely show these symptoms in the broiler level. Earlier, I have not seen the CAV, particularly in the breeder. CAV outbreak happened in the in only in the layer cases. But recently, I have one of the my customer whom I'm looking, and this flock was the infected with the CAV virus. So same situation we have got in the broiler. So again, we have worked on the immunity part. If we focus on the breeder immunity, that in that case we will get the good commercial chicks. If the breeder, if somehow, if this breeder immunity is not there, if breeder health status is not good, so definitely it will show into the commercial part. And we were getting very good quality of very good FCR in the commercial chicks. Later on, when it got infected with the CAV and this bird flu, and so we uh, the quality of chicks has deteriorated, and same the FCR gone, and very high, we have got very high FCR. So one more thing we have to check with that, the hatchery level. Our hatchery should be very hygienic, and if the hatchery is not properly hygiene, in that case we are also get the same problem in the commercial chicks. So another things we have to take care about is the feed part. So this is where this is the one thing I would like to mention, because earlier it was a little bit this little bit so much not important, but because in the feed, because IBH is not only the disease which caused by the virus. If there is anything other than immunosuppressive, like toxins and other things, like if the heavy metal contamination in feed, or if your feed process is not properly hygienic, those things will create the immunosuppression in the field conditions. So what we are doing here, we are giving our more focus on the feed part, how to control the feed, and how we can provide the better quality of feed which is free from toxins and heavy metal. Due to the shortage of raw material in South Central Asia, since last 6 months we are facing huge challenges. So we are going into the different kind of formulation. And when we are using different formulations, definitely we have added certain other raw material. Like in Sri Lanka, we were using rice polish and DDGS and MBM. So the challenges has increased here. In also I have formulated the I have formulated the this formulation, the feed, and we are facing huge challenges after the adding these raw materials. And due to the shortage, we are facing huge challenges in the broiler part. So we have to take care of feed raw material, and another thing is the feed complete process, and another part is the process part. So we have to take care of these three things, so that our bird will not get infected with the IBH or on any other diseases. So this is the one feed mill I have. I went in Bangladesh. So what happened? This is the this feed mill. This particular customer is producing almost 35 ton of feed, 35,000 ton of feed. And when I collect the sample from his dumping zone, so when we send to the laboratory and analyze the feed, this feed was getting toxin. There was a toxin presence in the only the dumping zone, because around surrounding the dumping zones, they have some lumps formation was there. So if the dumping zone is not clean, so I thought that what happened to the entire process. So when we are correct our process, so we have to take care of not only the breeder flock part, we have to take care of our entire process, especially the cooler part. I have done so many feed mill audits with the different customers. So when I went to the feed mills, I have taken the samples from the all the areas which are showing here, from the mixing and pelleting and cooler. So every time when I take the samples, especially in from the cooler part, it has certain toxins, and these toxins are creating challenge into the commercial part. So not only the breeder part, we have to take care of entire feed mill process. If the feed mill process and feed raw material are not good quality, or if there is any microbial contamination, so we will surely have the challenges in our commercial broiler part. So what we are right now, we are taking we are more focusing on the mycotoxins. So mycotoxins are the primarily which is affecting the bird health, in the which is causing the major challenge in the gut health, and which is creating a problem for the customers. So what we have to take care of mycotoxin, and these mycotoxins are not only present in the finished feed and raw material. If a process is not good, then these mycotoxins will come into the feed, because there are some lumps formation in the cooler part, especially the if you have seen the cooler, so upper part where this condensation happened, where this means condensation, where the steam comes, steam and both the part where top of the cooler where this happened. So these mycotoxins creating a risk for the in commercial chicks. So other things other than these mycotoxins, we have to take care of E. coli and Clostridium for the better quality of our better quality of better chicks production. So this is the one sample we have taken from the one company which has taken the samples, where we are getting the mold percentage, where we have taken the mold percentage is very high in the corn part. And if you can see here, we have taken different sample from for the Salmonella also, E. coli and Clostridium, where Clostridium is present for the almost 6% of the sample were positive for the Clostridium in corn cases. Same in the case of the wheat. In Sri Lanka, we are using wheat also. So Salmonella and mold percentage is little higher as compared to the other things. So we have got positive Salmonella in the almost 2% sample of the wheat. If you can see here, soya also. So almost 7 or 8% is 7 or 8% of sample were positive for Salmonella. Same in the case of the molds and bran also. So we have got almost 5% sample positive sample for the Salmonella in case of bran. And MBM, if you can see here, this almost 35% of the sample were positive for the Salmonella in meat and bone meal. So what I am doing right now, I have done feed mill audit part. So we were taking sample from the mixer. If you can see here in maximum log and suggested FTU level, these are the colony forming unit we are calculating through it. And every time we have taken the sample from the mixer, we have got positive more toxin mold concentration, as well as the enterobacteria concentration at the part of mixer. Same in the conditioner part. We when we have taken the sample from the conditioner, in that case also we have got more sample were positive for the desired level what we required in the feed. This is the one particularly one thing cooler I would like to mention here. If your cooler is not properly clean, and if there is condensation is occurring, so we can't get rid of this IBH or any other disease which we are facing in the field, like IBD or GD. If we have to take care of this particular part cooler, and here you can see the Salmonella is positive, almost 9% sample were positive for the Salmonella at the level of cooler. Many feed companies are right now, they are claiming that they are giving feed salmonella free, but we have we have got positive, almost 9% sample, we have got positive from the cooler level. So entire process, not only the breeder part, we have to take care of the feed mill part. If your feed mill part, or if this process is feed process is not okay, we will face this challenge in the broiler part. So this is the one feed formulation. If so, this is the one feed formulation I have given, and we are still facing lots of IBH issue in field level. So earlier what happened, we were formulating by maize, soybean, pearl millet, and it's pearl millet and MBM. Slightly we were adding DORB in our feed, up to 2% and 2 to 3% in the feed formulation, and we were getting very good result. And in terms of FCR, we were achieving almost 1.5 FCR at in the almost 2 million bird we have. One of the customer is rearing 2 million birds, so we were getting almost 1.5 to 1.6, between 1.5 to 1.6 FCR. But when soya prices has gone up, we have added certain amount of rice polish in our feed formulation, almost 2% or 2 to 2.5%. In starter level, we have added almost 2 to 2.5%, and finisher 3 up to 3% we have added rice polish in our feed mill. And what other alternate what we have added here is DDGS. We have added in pre-starter also. Up to 10 kg we have 1% in pre-starter, 2%, almost 2% in starter, and up to 4% we have gone in the finisher level. And this raw material has created huge problem in our field conditions. If you are using rice polish in your feed mill, and you are continuously getting IBH or any immunosuppressive disease in your field condition, so kindly remove this rice polish. And if you are still using rice polish, it should be very good quality, otherwise it will creating problem it will create more problem in the field. And same in the case of some of the customer have used MGM and GNE also. So GNE, there was some adulteration in GNE, and these all things are creating problem. So when you are going to formulate the feed, I suggest, if you are facing any IBH issue or any IBD or GD issue, kindly remove these two raw material, or it should be very good quality, and focus on the immunity part, so that if the breeder immunity is good, and we have removed these raw material in our commercial broiler feed, so we will get we can achieve this means IBH free chicks or IBH free bird. So here is the one raw material I would like to mention here. We in Sri Lanka, we are also using feather meal. So this feather meal, when we are adding in the commercial broiler, this is more susceptible for the toxins. And along with the MBM, we are adding feather meal. So we have to take care of this feather meal. So here in India, I have done feed mill audit for every 6 months. If the feed mill is very big, so we are doing feed mill audit in the 6 month. And next, if the feed mill is small, so we are doing almost 3 months in a 3 months in a 3 month after 3 months in a year. And so what happened, if you can see here, so we were getting a soybean in the month of October. We have CFU 2.4 CFU mold concentration in the soybean. And in the month of February, we have got this soybean, this mold concentration has been increases in the month of February. So we have to take care month by month, so that where the challenge is coming, like this Sri Lanka has a hot and humid climate. So in that time, we can see our raw material where the challenge will come more. So this is the this is the serotype 4 which we are getting in the field conditions. And we have seen, this serotype 4, this especially this pericardiac sac, if you see here. So we are through this picture, we can see this is a mottled liver, and mortality is happened from the 20% to the 80%. And if this serotype 4 is generally associated with other immunosuppressive disease, especially IBD and CAV. And if this is, I think this is not a so much lethal as compared to the serotype 11. So this serotype 11 is when the serotype 11 is infected the broiler, this picture I have taken, you can see here how much the hemorrhages you can see in the liver. So it is the mainly found in the commercial broiler as well as in the layer also, and generally infected with second to 2 to 7 week. But I have seen at the age of symptom of the serotype 11 at the age of 5 and 6. And gizzard erosion, we are generally getting gizzard erosion, generally we are getting in the field condition. And hepatitis, and hepatitis is very common in hepatitis. Hepatitis is commonly seen with the IBH. So all these diseases are creating problem for the liver. We know what are the liver functions, and liver is the largest gland of the body in the chicken, and it should maintain healthy to keep the excellent conditions. And it has a different role, like it is play a critical role in digestion, metabolism, production and storage of lipid, and it produces different varieties of enzymes, hormones, and clotting and immune factors. And liver considered as a biochemical factory, which is primarily responsible for the metabolism, excretion, and detoxification process. Bacteria, virus, and other chemical toxins like the heavy metals majorly primarily affect the liver. So poor liver status can lead to poor GIT, and if the liver condition is good, so GIT will be function will much better. So if this is the one liver picture, you can see here good quality. If the liver is in good quality liver, and if you see here the good color also, and this is the normal color of liver. So if we see here mortality and morbidity, in the case of IBH, it generally start with the second week, and mortality when mortality reach up to the 80%, I have seen up to 80% of the flock we have lose in the case of IBH. And there is severe impact in the FCR, and birds generally show an appetite, and it doesn't take feed as frequently after the infected with the IBH. So this is the one normal morphology of liver when it infected with IBH. So we get here intranuclear inclusion in the hepatocyte after affecting the IBH. So this is the one pictures I have taken at the age of 30 days. So this particular flock where breeder flock I was talking about, we have got infected with the bird flu. When we receive the chicks at the age of 30 days, these kind of symptoms we have got, and you can see here the liver condition. There are lots of hemorrhages. When I saw first time these images, and when I did the postmortem, I thought it's a toxin, due to the toxin and toxicity happened in here. But we have sent these samples to the laboratory, and later on we find out that this is the serotype 11 which is causing the mortality. And in these particular flocks we have seen up to 80% mortality, and within a 3 and 4 days this mortality happened. You can see here also in large kidney, and this was the common symptoms we were getting. But these symptoms we were getting at the age of after 25 days, when flock was infected with after 25 days, there were the huge kidney swelling. You can see here And generally the spleen size is little bit larger as compared to generally what we read in books, that spleen size is small, but in here we have got larger spleen size. These are the some other pics in the 31 days, at the age of 31 days, same flock. And you can see here, and these pictures where we are getting huge hemorrhages on liver. Gizzard erosion also associated with the serotype 11 and mottled liver. So these are the pictures we were getting after infection with the IBH. You can see here, this is the another flock and another customers, and the same type of symptoms we have seen in the field level. Mottled liver, like the toxicity like symptoms, and kidney swelling. You can see here also, here this is the another flock, not the all the flocks are different, but the age is almost similar. So you can see here huge hemorrhages on the liver and enlarged kidney, and sometimes we are getting very large spleen also. You can see here this spleen size has been increased continuously when the flock is going after 38, when flock is a little bit older after 30 days. So we were getting little bit higher size of spleen in the field, and you can see here the dotted on the hemorrhages on the liver. This particular flock was the 25 days, and this was the typical symptoms of IBH. You can see here, and 15 days also, 15 days flock we have seen here in IBH condition in 15 days, and gizzard erosion, as well as we have seen the in hemorrhages on proventriculus at the age of 15. So what are the signs of IBH? One thing we have commonly seen is depression and inappetence and poor feed conversion and abnormal and ruffled feather, and GD. GD was the very common symptoms we were getting in the field conditions. And anemia, sometimes we have seen anemia. You can see here in this picture, this is the one flock of 25,000, and it's a completely EC house. And this third one picture, if you can see here, these pictures we have seen, I have taken, and this particular picture you can see here what is the situation of flock when it infected at I think it's this age was around 14-15 days, and the body weight generally we are getting 15 days around more than 500 gram. Up to in 15 days we are getting very frequently 500, but when this IBH got infected, this body weight was around 300 and 350 like that, or in some cases it was lesser than 350 gram. Kidney enlargement, yes, you can see here in kidney enlargement here, and there was the huge swelling in the kidney after infected with the IBH. You can see here also. And the GD was the one of the common symptoms we were getting in after when we have faced this IBH issue in field level. And one more component which was majorly impacted is the gut health. So if this equilibrium of is not there in the gut, so if something happened in the diet or toxin in the feed or other things which is cause immunosuppression in the bird, it will definitely impacted the bird. So what happened after infection of IBH? I have done the lesion scoring in the field level. So we have got these kind of pictures. You can see here, it is undigested feed, and there were the huge hemorrhages on the hemorrhages as well as the inflammation on the in the intestines. And you can see these other pictures. This was the completely undigested feed, and mucus was also there. There was some watery diarrhea also after infection with the IBH. And mainly one of the things we were getting this IBH is that undigested feed. Undigested feed was the one of the most common symptoms we were getting in the broiler. You can see here, and you can see also the tonicity of intestine is also losing. The tone, what generally we get the tonicity, and the thickness also. Thickness is increased due to inflammation, and this pink color mucus we have seen in the broiler. We all know that the gut is the immune organ. If something happened to the gut, it will definitely impact the FCR and other process, because other things. So after IBH, there is inflammation in gut, and this watery diarrhea and undigested feed. So these all things are creating a problem, and finally this bird was what we expecting the FCR, we have not got those FCRs. And these are the other things we have got in the field. The undigested feed, you can see here, these flocks. I have taken this flock. This particular picture is not from the anticoccidiosis. Generally we saw that the blood is coming from the from the bird, so it is generally we trigger that this is cocci. But we were using almost Maxiban Montiban program, Naracin plus Nicarbazine program in the pre-starter and starter diet. That is the best molecule for the control of the coccidiosis. But this is not the coccidiosis. This is the outcome after the when flock was infected with the IBH. Later on, we have got this kind of pictures, and digested, and blood in the blood also. Blood was also present in the feces. Same thing you can see here, undigested mucus, and these pictures are the same farm which I have shown the upper part. These all are the picture are the same flocks, and you can see here the undigested feed, mucus. And one of the things I would like to mention, if you are getting problem with IBH and any other immunosuppressive disease, kindly remove this raw material from your feed for at least 2 months. If you have removed these 4 raw material from your feed formulation, you will surely control this in 15 days. So what are the post-mortem lesions in IBH? What we have seen is already swollen liver, mottled and hemorrhages on the liver, and the kidney and bone marrow is pale, and there is the blood is thin in viscosity. And generally here I would like to mention, generally we see here bursa and spleen size is small, but I have seen the bursa spleen size has been increased. And this basophilic inclusion nuclear body we have seen in in the smear. And how to what are the prevention to take care of this IBH? So first we have to take care of the breeder part. Second, we have to take care of feed mill. If feed mill is if we are getting toxins in our feed mill, definitely we can't control this IBH or any other disease in the commercial level. And we have to take care of liver health, so that if the liver is good, so that bird will bird can encounter these challenges. So rest, I think Leon will carry on. And Nacho.
Okay, thank you so much for the good presentation, Dr. Deepak. It was really interesting, sorry, with all the cases on the field. And yeah, your knowledge is huge. So I hope that the vets from Sri Lanka has taken good notes. And of course, again, if you want to do some questions, you have the questions and answer chat. So please use it. So after the presentation of FAMI, we will go for it. Thank you so much again, Dr. Deepak. It was a great speech. Okay. And now, Dr. FAMI, you want?
Hi, hello everybody. So I share my screen. as Dr. Deepak was already mentioning about the importance of the liver to cope and to resist against IBH, I'm going to focus my presentation on liver health, on the importance of the liver, and on the solution that Ibusol is working, is offering to fight against liver problems or liver issues, right? So just to highlight the importance of the liver in the animal, and particularly in high producing animals, the liver is the place where the most of the metabolism of the animal happens. Either catabolism or anabolism, it doesn't matter, of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, etc., etc. It's a gland responsible for bile production, and one of the main functions is detoxification, etc., until more than 300 vital functions. So it's a really important organ on the animal. As already mentioned, the good condition of the liver will help us to cope against IBH or other diseases or other contaminants in the feed. One of the most important processes is the toxification, as already mentioned. There is certain complexity on this process. And what is important to highlight is that during the process of detoxification, the liver is transforming the components, the toxic components. It doesn't matter if they come from drugs, from mycotoxins, from microbial toxins, etc. They are modified, and when they are modified, they are usually converted into free radicals and reactive oxygen molecules. So first, the liver needs to have the ability to modify that contaminants, those toxins, and then we need a good amount of antioxidants to neutralize, to overcome the free radicals, the reactive oxygen species, right? So as the liver is very vulnerable to everything, because all the feed is passing through the liver, all the blood is passing through the liver to filter the blood, is the filter of the organism. So there are many aggressions that are possible to happen in the liver, right? And the liver needs to cope with that. The biggest challenge we have with the liver is that we don't realize about a problem in the liver until time after the liver is already suffering this problem, right? So we really need to focus on preventive measurements, to preventive tools to help the liver and to avoid these surprises afterwards. Traditionally, the liver has been protected through mixtures of amino acids, vitamins, sometimes also minerals. And this was a very good tool or procedure years ago. However, since 20, 30 years ago, we have a lot of different diets for each animal, for each physiological stage of the animal. Is not the same the pre-starter of the chick, the starter, the growing, the finisher. So we have even up to 4 different diets in a broiler. And if we compare versus layer in different phases, growing stages. So we have a lot of different diets for the animals. And of course, those diets are balanced to the requirements and needs of the animals for each stage and for each physiological stage. Therefore, these combinations of amino acids and vitamins have lost some power. And nowadays, in order to protect the liver and to protect and to fight against pathological situations, we are working with plant extracts. These plant extracts usually has a strong antioxidant power, and we are combining these specific plant extracts with methyl donors. Regarding plant extracts, there are several plants that are options to be used. We have decided to go for artichoke. Artichoke has been growing in Mediterranean countries, well, has been growing and has been used as food and medicine since long time ago, since the Roman and Greek culture, so more than 20 centuries ago. And since then they are known for the value of this plant for the liver, also for kidneys, but mainly for the liver. It has been more recently that the specific molecules that are assisting the liver to fight necrosis, to fight inflammation, to enhance bile production, etc., has been discovered. Among them, cynarin. This has been very, very famous. And it has been even purified to be used in human medicine. So one of the characteristics of artichoke is the ability to increase the bile production and to increase the ability of the liver and the bile bladder to eject the bile or the bile salts to the intestine. And this is important for two reasons. One reason is that the bile salts are helping us to digest fat, to digest pigments, to digest liposoluble vitamins. And at the end, fat is the more expensive ingredient of the diet. So it's in good interest that the digestibility of this material is good. And second, is important because together with bile, the toxified components from the liver are ejected to the intestine. Therefore, the higher amount of bile acids we produce and eject to the liver, the higher ability to get free of the toxified components for the liver. So let's say it enhances the ability of the liver to detoxify, together with the antioxidants that is providing, the enhancing effect that artichoke has on the synthesis of antioxidants, hepatic antioxidants, so the antioxidants that are synthesized directly inside of the hepatocytes in the liver, etc. I have already mentioned cynarin, but this is not the only important molecule within the artichoke extract. We have mainly two flavonoids, quinic acid and caffeic acid, and their combinations generate different molecules that are of high interest for the protection and enhancing of liver functionalities. Among them, we have chlorogenic acid, that is a really strong antioxidant. We have cynarin, that is enhancing a lot the resistance of the liver to inflammation, etc., etc. We have other components that we don't have time today to discuss, but they are also really interesting. And what I would like to highlight here is we need to be careful with where we buy the artichoke extract, as it happens to other plant extracts that may have any functionality. But what is important today for us is artichoke extract, and this is an example on the content of chlorogenic acid of different parts of the plant. So we have the outer bracts. The bracts are hard leaves, intermediate, receptacle, productive leaf, etc. And as we can see directly, without too much deep analysis, is that there is a big variation on the content of chlorogenic acid between the different parts of the plant. And each column inside of a plant part is representing one variety of the plant. And we see there is also a lot of variety if we are using, sorry, there is a lot of variation if we are using one variety or other of the plant. So what are we doing? Here we have a list of what we call chlorogenic acid derivatives. So it's the family of molecules that are being built through from the quinic acid and the caffeic acid. And what we are doing is analyzing the raw material that we are buying, and the dose of artichoke varies depending on the original content of the different compounds. This is because we want to ensure that if you use 100 grams of our product, those 100 grams has always the same effect, and it doesn't depend on the variety or cultivar of the original plant material. So we have a minimum marks of different molecules, and we ensure we reach those minimum in order to produce our final product. And what else? We have also a methyl donor. A classical methyl donor is methionine, but there are others, as for example, choline and betaine. Those three are the three that are important in our business for, as methyl donor for animal production. And why are those methyl donor important? So they are important because the donation of methyl groups is the bottleneck of the whole liver metabolism. Here are just two examples of the different liver pathways. As you can see, they are kind of, they are related between them, all of them, all the cycles. So when we are stopping one part of the cycle, we are mostly stopping all of them. And therefore we are stopping liver functionalities. The way to ensure we are not stopping any of the cycles is providing methyl groups. And as mentioned, the three molecules I commented are three ways to provide methyl groups. The first one, methionine, is the basic methyl donor, and usually the requirements of methionine as an essential amino acid are already very well covered from the feed because of the because of the good formulation that we have nowadays. Another methyl donor is choline. The problem we have with choline is a very good molecule, very interesting, but it's a pro-oxidant. It's a pro-oxidant. So we need, if we are using plant extracts that have a very good antioxidant power, and we combine that with a pro-oxidant, it doesn't make sense from the beginning to make a feed additive from that starting point, because we are neutralizing the good effects of the antioxidants before the product is even mixed in the final compound feed, right? Finally, we have betaine. And betaine is also providing our methyl groups we were mentioning, but also has another characteristic, and this is osmoprotection. So it's a molecule that is protecting the animals against heat stress. And this is very important in our markets because we are under conditions where our animals are suffering from heat stress. And I think Sri Lanka is a very good example of that, right? Therefore, methionine could be okay. Choline is not recommended, and betaine is highly recommended, particularly for our conditions in countries where heat stress is a production problem. Already as mentioned, the different molecules entering the cycles, so we don't focus on this. I would like to highlight this chart. Here we have T-bars. This is a measurement of of cell mortality, okay, the highest T-vars, the highest values in the T-vars, the higher cell mortality, or let's say it's a measurement of how cells get old, the membrane of the cells, okay? And we see that under heat stress conditions, cells are more, die more. And the longer time under heat stress, the more cells that we are losing, that they are dying, higher mortality in the cells, right? And what we see is that if in the medium there is the presence of beta-in, we get a better resistance to heat stress in the cells, because this osmoprotective power that I already mentioned. Our product that is combining plant extracts from artichoke and beta-in to protect the liver is called IguSafe water soluble. Water soluble because it's a solution that can be applied in the drinking water. And I would like to comment one trial we have done with a customer in India. This customer was suffering from IBH. So when he discovered about the disease, he called us. We were able to appear, well, when he called us in the peak of mortality of the disease, okay? And he had two different groups of the chicken. One group had 5,100 chicks, okay? And another group had 4,800 chicken. And this is where we applied IguSafe water soluble. We apply it at a rate of 250 grams per 1,000 liters of water, okay? As IBH appeared during the 5th week, we arrived with the product on day 37. As I mentioned, this was more or less the peak of mortality due to IBH. And the product was applied during 1 week, from day 37 of the cycle to day 44. What we have seen from the use of the product, if you see the mortality during the different weeks of the production, there are some, they are alike, both groups. However, when we enter in week 5, we had the problem, we arrived with the product, and then we start to see a decrease in the mortality of the group with IguSafe. This mortality was also reduced during the week 6. And at the end, when we compare the mortality during the infection period due to IBH, we found 3.4% less mortality, 3.4 points lower in the percentage of mortality. So what this means, that IguSafe water soluble is protecting the liver, and when the liver is protected, the mortality due to IBH is lower. We were able to save more chicken. And this was also transferred equally to the global mortality during the whole cycle. This was quite high due to this IBH. Usually when you save more chicken, it may happen that your average daily gain is impaired, because all the chicken you have saved, the growth is not the same as a good, healthy chick, right? However, what we see also is that our average daily gain is better, is 2 grams above the control group, and the feed conversion rate is also better, it's 0.07 points better. So why is this? Because it's not only that we are saving animals because we are protecting the liver and enhancing liver functionality, is that the product, the chicken that will cope with the disease anyway, they will cope with it in a better way that will allow them to grow better. So there is a preventive measurement or a preventive tool to cope with the disease. Okay. In one hand, it's a preventive tool to cope with the disease, and on the other side, is a tool to cope the disease because we have seen this lower mortality. And at the end, if we see the efficiency factor, we are also in better numbers. Of course, the animals are growing more, the conversion rate is better, mortality is lower, so efficiency factor is much better when we were working with EWUSAFE water soluble. And that's it from my side. I hope I was not very boring, and I'm open for any question that you may have.
Okay, thank you so much, Juanmi, for this very interesting presentation with the tools that we can share with our clients with EWUSOL products. I don't know if Dr. Aranda has anything to comment. If not, we can jump to the questions and answers. Please, if you have any question, you can do it now. Anyway, if you don't feel ready to do it, of course, you can send the questions to Dr. Aranda and he will send it back to us by mail, okay? Dr. Aranda, any comments?
No, we'll move to question and answers session now.
Okay, great. So I have one question here for Dr. Deepak. It's coming from Mr. Hayasiri. So Mr. Hayasiri is asking, Dr. Deepak, could you explain the pathogenicity of serotype 4 and 11?
Yeah, it is right now. It is not so clear. But what we earlier getting in the case of the serotype 4, the like the leachy conditions, what we get, liquid water in the pericardial sacs. But in the case of serotype, we are getting this more on the abdominal cavity. It is more affecting the abdominal cavity. This is the only things we are getting. It is not so much clear about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see. I see. I don't know if someone has more questions. Just Mr. Hayasiri has dropped a question. So please, of course, if you have any doubt, we are totally open to answer. If not, we can move on. Of course, thanking again for your great disposition to join this meeting, this webinar. I hope that you feel interested in all the topics, the technical presentation from Dr. Deepak, and also the inputs from my colleague Juanmi about the tools that we can share with you from EWUSOL side. And yeah, maybe Dr. Aranda has something else to say before finishing the webinar. Doctor, you have your mic off.
Hope you all enjoyed the webinar and yeah, we're able to gather some valuable information on this timely needed topic. And also I would like to take the this opportunity to thank all the veterinarians who participate to the webinar. And again, the speakers, Dr. Deepak, thank you very much for sharing valuable information related with the region. And again, Mr. Juanmi, sharing valuable tools to take care of liver health. And again, hope to see you all again with
Okay. Excuse me, doctor.
interesting topics. Yeah.
We have another question from Mr. Hayasiri. Has dropped another question. So as we are here, we can go for it. So I think that he's asking also to Dr. Deepak if the administration of ND vaccine during IBH is recommended to reduce mortality.
Yes, we are doing this IBH vaccine, ND vaccine at the age of first day. We are doing a killed vaccine at the age of first day. So in that is also helping us to reduce the IBH.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Deepak, again for the answer. And yeah, as I was saying, and as Dr. Aranda was saying, thank you to everyone for joining the webinar. We will upload the webinar video to probably our website or Facebook, just in case you want to see again the presentation of Dr. Deepak or Juanmi. And again, if you have any question, you can throw it to Dr. Aranda, and I'm sure that he will forward it to us. Dr.
Yeah,
Deepak,
sure.
thank you so much for the opportunity to understand a little bit more about the IBH challenge. Juanmi, thank you so much for your presentation. And Dr. Randa, thank you for the organization of this very good, nice webinar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and hope to see you all with the interesting topics again
Okay.
in the future. Okay,
Perfect.
thanks all.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.